What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with another College Hill review, guys. So this is season 2. This is episode number 2, and this episode is titled, "Why Can't We All Be Friends?" I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But before we go ahead and get into this, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a huge solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss College Hill Celebrity Edition, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, Jocelyn Hernandez, this day, this is going to be the first day of class. So we see them all as they're getting ready for class. Everybody is up with the exception of Ray J, right? Now, here's the thing that kind of annoyed me and really kind of pissed me off in this particular segment of the episode, right? Because remember, I told you guys in the last one that Jocelyn told Parker that she wasn't going to be in her room no more because she felt like she was being messy, right? So then she kept calling that girl a bitch. See, Parker is way too nice, because let her call me a bitch, I would have slapped her. I would have knocked the shit out of Jocelyn. I promise to God I would have punched her, right? So we find out that Iman is going to be missing a few days of school. He's already talked to Dr. Petty. Is that what her name is? Yeah, Dr. Petty, right? So he's going to have to go to Atlanta, right? So he's asking for Orion to, take some notes for him, get him caught up once he gets back. So that's that. So we see as they get to the school, so their first class is African American literature, right? This fool, Ray J, so the professor looked at Ray J. She was like, "Ray J, are you recording this?" He was like, "Yeah, I am recording this, because last time, when the class was out and, people asked questions, I can just play it back. But last time I got hit with plagiarism." I was like, "That's still plagiarism, Ray J." Like, plagiarism, copyright, whatever you want to call it. Because if you try to take that and use it as your work, yeah, plagiarism and copyright. So, Tiffany, they were talking about like orature, right? Spoken word, spoken literature, right? So, I will say in this segment, I did get a little bit annoyed. And I'm going to tell you guys why in just a little bit. But I will say with Tiffany, I love the fact that Tiffany started singing a gospel hymn, right? Now you can see as Jocelyn is rolling her eyes, Amber didn't like she was really into it. And we soon found out why Amber wasn't into it. Because they talked about Christianity, right? And actually in orientation, I forgot to mention is about the stanza. So Tiffany asked her, Dr. Betty, what is a stanza? And she told her what a stanza is, right? So we found out in orientation that Amber is an atheist, and Quay, he kind of feels a way about the fact that, he's friends with Amber, but he didn't know that she was an atheist. And I kind of want to point this out, because this is where I got the irritation from when it came to Quay. Like, I get that he's a Christian, right? So here's my thing about Christianity and people who are not Christians. That's fine. You don't have to believe in what I believe in, as long as you don't talk down on it, be, condescending, demeaning, anything like that. I think, especially in orientation, Amber never said anything negative about, religion. She just said, "I'm an atheist." And just the way people respect, some people respect sexuality and, gender fluidity. Some people don't, right? The one thing that I always hate when I hear people say it now is, "I don't agree with your lifestyle." Well, here's the thing. It's not for you to agree with what a person does with their life. If a person chooses to be gay, bisexual, lesbian, trans, anything under the sun, polyamorous, whatever. If a person decides to do those things, it's not for anyone to agree with but that person, much like with Quay and Christianity and Amber and atheism, right? It's not for her to be okay with him being a Christian. It's not for him to be okay with her being an atheist, right? So in the class, Amber was talking about how with Christianity, it was basically, in a sense, forced upon the slaves. It was the white people who forced Christianity onto the black people, because she asked about the black church. Yes, there is a such thing as the black church, but originally when the slaves were brought over here, they didn't practice Christianity, right? And it's very interesting, because when you think about certain things like hoodoo and voodoo, people consider that dark and demonic, right? But that's not the case. That's what the slaves knew at that time. So it's interesting. I don't have an issue with Amber being an atheist, and I'm okay with Quay being a Christian. But I think that I think for me personally with Quay, I think he's taking what Amber's saying too seriously. Now we'll talk about her a little bit later, but let's pause here and let's go ahead and move forward, you guys. So after they left African American literature, they went to another class, right? And I do love the fact that all of these classes are centering around, African American history and culture, right? So once again, Quay was still annoyed with Amber and Christianity, because in this next class, we were talking about like white supremacy and everything. And we're still talking about the fact that the slaves were basically forced into Christianity, right? And at one point, Tiffany and Parker was like, they weren't uncomfortable with the conversation, because Parker says her mom is white and her dad is black, and Tiffany was like, my fiance is a white man, so whenever I see injustices against my people, and my fiance is right next to me, I get disgusted by the sight of him. And Jocelyn's like, ooh, and I said the same thing too, right? That's got to be an interesting thing when it comes to interracial relationships, because especially when it's a black person with a white person, it's got to be quite interesting to deal with that. Especially when you see the injustices on television against black and brown people, right? And you have a non-black or brown partner. So how do you I always wonder, how do people explain that to their partner? Because that's something that they'll never, ever have to endure or deal with, right? Police brutality, systematic racism, none of that. They will never have to deal with that, because they were born with privilege. Here's something that I've been seeing a whole lot from the far right, where they want to say, oh, that's black privilege. There's no such thing as black privilege. Like, let's keep that a buck. Black people have what privilege do we have? Like, let's keep that a buck. And then they always try to say, oh, black people can be racist. We cannot be racist. We can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist. Please look up the definition of racism. I'm not going to go into that lesson, right? So the professor then tells them that he wants the group to pair up. And Jocelyn gonna sit here and say that, well, she feels like the outcast. And I was like, wait a minute. Run that back. You feel like an outcast. How, Sway? Please explain that. You have alienated yourself from the group, not the other way around. So I don't know how you feel like you are by yourself. So the class let out, and Ray J sat back behind, and the professor like, is everything okay with you? He was like, yeah. He's like, everything is okay. Now, although Ray J is a class clown, and I feel like Ray J in high school probably was a class clown, right? Although I feel like Ray J is comedic relief, I understood what he was saying in this particular scene, because he was talking to them about the fact that he's hung around with some of the people on the right, and they showed the articles and the photos when him and Kodak Black was with Chester the Cheeto, who, God. Then they talked about him when he was with, that coon CO, whose name I will never mention on this channel. And he asked the question, can you be black and can you be a conservative? And the answer to that question is you can be. There's nothing wrong with being a black conservative. Absolutely not. I'll give you guys two black people who are conservatives that I think they are great people. One of them, even though she's gotten, they called her all kind of terrible names, Condoleezza Rice, who she was under President Bush, right? Condoleezza Rice, I think she's an amazing woman. Is she a lesbian? Did she ever come out as a lesbian, or is she married to a man? I don't know, because I never thought that woman was straight. Never, that's neither here nor there. Condoleezza Rice, I think she's an amazing person, right? And another person, Colin Powell. That man, before he passed away, he said it. He did not vote for Chester the Cheeto, and he did not. And I respect that, right? So it's not a bad thing to be a conservative. I think you told the line when you had these people like CO, when you have people like Diamond and Silk, right? Those are people who know that it is controversial for them to basically align with people who say the most negative and stereotypical things about black people, right? So I think that's where when it comes to me with conservatives, I'm fine with someone who votes Republican. I have no issues with that, right? But it's my issue when it comes to black conservatives is when they start talking negatively. Everything that they have to say is something negative about black people. That's where I get lost when it comes to a black conservative. And you guys can let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, but that's really how I feel about it. But I love the fact that Ray J did ask that question. I thought it was a valid question, and like I said, it's not a bad thing to be a conservative. It's just, like I said, when you tiptoe on that line of let me talk negatively about, especially let's just go back to that stupid woman, that coon CO. She is a hypocrite. And a lot of the time with the black conservatives who are far right, I just don't believe I don't even think they believe half of the shit that they say, because they always take the most salacious articles about black people and try to flip it and spin it to, for a white audience to say the most disgusting and negative things about black people, right? Because that fool and coon CO, she went to the NAACP about those white boys who, like, you had a whole lawsuit against those white boys. I don't forget that. But that's neither here nor there, right? But let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So after class, Jocelyn went and talked to Dr. Petty and was once again trying to tell Dr. Petty that she feels like she's out there by herself. And the thing is, like I said earlier in the last review, it's not that Jocelyn is on a ledge by herself. If you are on a ledge by yourself, it's of your own doing. Nobody has said anything or done anything to you. Like, nobody. You guys, let's keep it real. So I don't condone violence or anything like that. I'm all about, defending yourself if somebody comes at you. But I promise you guys, I really do want for Amber just to beat the brakes off of Jocelyn. That's my personal opinion, right? And then I'm curious to know what her and Quay got into it about, because she doused water on him, but that's not in this episode. So she feels like they're ganging up on her, and I just don't understand. How do you feel like they're ganging up on you when you are the person that started the shit in the first place, right? So we get back to the house, and they're talking to Amber about her belief system, right? Now, this is the point where I said that I didn't like what she was, because she was making jokes about, basically how I guess some people in the church might fuck a deacon, and I fell off the, I fell by the wayside or something like that, whatever she said. That I didn't like, but I also did not like the fact that she was asked a question, does she believe in God? She says she does believe that so that's the thing with some atheists, like not all, but some people don't believe in the church, right? Some people do believe there is a God out there. They just don't believe in what's in the Bible. Some people just don't go along with the Bible. And Amber was like, humans were on this planet millions of years before the Bible came along, which is 2,000 years old. And Quay felt the way about that, and he got up and walked away. I am glad that he got up and walked away, but this was another situation where they asked Amber her opinions. This is how Amber feels. Now, the jokes that she made, was that okay? Not necessarily. I don't agree with the joke that she made, but she's speaking her truth. We cannot get upset with people for speaking their truth. Like that was I feel like Quay needs to open up and come from a place of understanding, right? Just you can ask her, what does she believe in? Like, do you believe in a higher power? What do you believe in? Like, do you believe in a heaven and a hell? Like, you can sit down and have those conversations with her, and you can go into it with trying to enlighten yourself, not try to pass it, because it does kind of feel like he is just a little bit passing. It feels to me like he's passing a little bit of judgment on Amber, and I'm not necessarily here for that. So, but like I said, I do respect the fact that he got up and walked away from the situation. And like I said, I didn't agree with her making them jokes about Christianity. Am I a Christian? Yes. Do I believe in God? Yes. Do I go to church? Absolutely not. I ain't set foot in a church I ain't been to a church in years, and I don't intend to go to a church, right? So that's that. So then lastly, we see as a group is getting ready to go out to a local eatery, right? And everybody is ready with the exception of Jocelyn. Now, mind you, everybody is just dressed like me. Just got on a shirt and some shorts and some shoes. Jocelyn done went and put on a shimmery, actually it just looked like a bralette. Because she had pasties on, so I'm like, you ain't got, technically it's not even a bra. But you got this shimmery thing on, some shimmery boots. I was like, girl, y'all just going to eat. And then y'all were 2 hours late. So I like the fact that Amber, now I'm probably gonna get tired of Amber talking about her growing up in South Philly. Girl, we get it. You have to fight all your life. We get it, girlfriend, right? So I do respect Amber and the fact that she was like, if y'all want to fuck with Jocelyn, y'all can, but I'm good on it because that negative energy ain't for me, and I respect Amber saying that, right? So Ray J and Jocelyn showed up to the restaurant, right? So Quay and Amber went outside to go for a smoke. So Amber then came back in and she went to the restroom, but Jocelyn was in the restroom. So in the restroom, she and Jocelyn were talking, and Jocelyn apologized to her. And so Tiffany said, you know what, I got to get up and go use the restroom too. So Tiffany went to the restroom, and then Tiffany, Amber, and Jocelyn in the restroom, they apologized. Then Quay came by the bathroom and went into the. I was like, wait a minute, Quay, whoa, back up. I know you play TT, but why are we in a women's restroom? I was so confused about why he was in a women's restroom. But that's it, you guys. So far, so good with College Hill season 2. I'm gonna stick around, you guys, so let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. You guys subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, share the video, and then until the next time, you guys, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So I think that'll be Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.